Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, let's talk about Allie and this whole mess that happened today between Allie, Sunny, Rafe, and Will. So, Allie finds out that Will knew about Will knew about Sammy's plan and just kept lying to her face day in and day out. So she was like, you know what? I'm not signing these papers. I don't trust you. You can go. And Sunny was pissed off because, you're keeping shit from him and conspiring with Sammy, and it costs both of y'all to lose the baby. So he's done. He's like, yo, I want no parts of you. So he walks out. He storms out. And Will walks up to, Will tries to chase after him, sees Sammy, and pretty much, walks up to Sammy and is like, well, this is all your fault. And I'm like, alright, no. See, and I can't believe I'm actually sitting there defending Sammy, but this was on you. Because you knew about Sammy's plan and you chose to do nothing, and you chose to lie. You chose to lie to her every single day. So you know what? This is on you. And you know what? Let's just be very fucking clear. I felt like he was being very phony. I felt like in some ways he was being phony. Before Sammy came in with the whole, conspiring and shit like that, because I felt like if Allie would have chose Rafe and gave the baby to Rafe, I felt like he would have felt some sort of way. And that whole, we're a team, sister and brother unite, and no, I felt like all that shit would have went out the window. So to be honest, I don't feel bad for Will at all. One second. Let's talk about Kayla and Steve, because Steve is one of my favorite characters. But I felt like their episode was I don't know. I felt like their scene was somewhat pointless. And let me explain. Because partly nothing happened. And the whole thing, nothing happened. They just talked about they went through memory lane. And so for me, I felt like it was good because it kind of caught me up on the history about how he felt like when he, was somebody else and how guilty he felt, and pretty much how he wanted to just kind of like make up for lost times, like he wanted to it was like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like he's overcompensating for the stuff that he's done in the past to her. So for me, I felt like that was kind of good. But I felt like for everyone else who's been watching the show for a while, it's like shit that they already know. So it was like, alright, I mean, that's cool and everything, but like is something actually gonna happen? Or no? Okay. So, I don't know. I was very mixed about that whole scene. About their scenes in general throughout this episode. Okay, let's go with Ben and Ciara, because that was probably my other favorite scene. Actually, to tell you the truth, that was my first favorite scene. Allie and the stuff was my second. So, and hell, actually, to tell you the truth, I was wrong. I said yesterday, I was like, you know what? I predict that they get there and Ben is not there. And I was wrong. So they find Ben and he's, all out of it and whatever. And yeah, that was, I mean, there's some scenes where, Hope walks outside, sees Vincent. Vincent tries to put his hands on her. There's this really awkward, terrible choreography fight scene, I guess. And Hope puts him on his ass. Of course, she ties him up. She comes back. He's not there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised. But towards the end of Sierra and Sierra and Ben scene, Ben sees a tie. Like they're hugging each other, and Ben sees a tie. So I'm like, okay, the programming, it worked, sort of. I feel like it sort of worked because, well, Hope was gone for a while, and he had his chance to actually kill her, and he didn't. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's just like a delayed reaction or something. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And lastly, I'll talk about my least favorite scene, which was Bonnie. And I gotta be honest, any scene with Bonnie is just, I don't know. I feel like they try to use her for comedy relief. And for me, it just doesn't work. Maybe other people may like her, but whatever. Anyway, Bonnie sees Justin, and she's all upset about like her contract and her book deal and stuff. And she sits down and she talks to Justin, and she pretty much is like, I need your help, because I guess in the contract, she is supposed to have like sold a certain amount of books to get like certain royalties and deals and money and stuff like that. And Justin looked at it real quick, and Justin was like, it's right there in the paper, I can see it. And pretty much what wound up happening was Bonnie just didn't read it. She just did not read the contract. She was just like, I want this book deal, I want this money. And so this is what happens when you don't read a fucking contract. So she's crying and pouting and like begging him, and finally she storms off, and Justin looks at the book, because Bonnie was like, listen, my story and how bad I felt about what I did with you is in this book. Just take a look at it. And so she walks off, and Justin looks at the book, and the scene ends. And I guess my prediction from this whole thing is that Justin's gonna help Bonnie with this whole like book deal contract thing or whatever. Despite him not liking her. Well, no, that's not true. He fucking hates her, okay? But Justin is an actual good person, so yeah, he's gonna help her. And honestly, tell you the truth, that pretty much ends this review. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little jarring seeing him play Justin 1 minute and then him play Ned next, and so future warning, if I fuck up on his name, it's not because I like General Hospital. Well, it's not just because I like General Hospital more than Days. It's just because he plays two different characters, and yeah. And to be fair, again, Days is actually starting to grow on me. And the one thing that I do like about Days and this whole Ben and Sierra scene is the fact that they didn't drag it out like they did with General Hospital and Jason. So I'm like, you know what? Fucking kudos to Days for just not dragging shit out. And there are some things that I do like about Days that then I do about General Hospital, between them not dragging stuff out, between the whole skipping the whole court case scenes and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? Days, let's put it this way, there's some stuff that GH can learn from fucking Days, that I can fully say in a minute. But yeah, that's actually gonna do it for this review of Days. Sorry this came out so late, but I had to watch it on YouTube because, well, there was an interruption, and I don't like watching like fucking shows in like pieces and shit. So yeah. Also, sorry I'm doing it on this instead of my tablet, but my tablet kind of ran out of batteries, and I mean, it just like, well, not ran out of batteries, it just like fucking ran low on energy. So yeah. And I didn't want to wait till it got full and just, push out the review later on. So yeah. This is going to do it for this review of Days of Our Lives. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.